The Top and Mirror Master make their return. Plus, we unmask Savitar. Well, no, not really. Cliffhanger, not till next week do we unmask the villain. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Episode 19 of Season 3, The Once and Future Flash. Flash runs into the future in order to get the answers he needs. And let's be honest, he's not really good at this whole time travel thing. But using Wally, he pushes himself, and as such, we get our answers. Psych! Nope, not this week. Team Flash is entirely a self-contained story, and as such, we don't get to see exactly who Savitar is until next week. I have my own theories, but I'll add that in after I throw this up there. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Color me unimpressed with the Once and Future Flash. The whole idea of the oh woe is me future where the bad guys have won and the hero can't be the hero anymore is really one of those things that grates on me. I'm fine with Wally having gone nuts and fighting Savitar alone and getting his back snapped and going catatonic. I'm even fine with Killer Frost being so badass that she freezes off Cisco's hands and as such steals his powers that are at least partially mental, so that's not really like, okay. And Julian having to go a little nuts and having to lock his girlfriend up. I mean, all of those are horrible, shit-tastic things that just suck and make this a horrible downer future. But hey, HG has a totally awesome life, right? Man, oh man, is it going to be really hard for me to say that Barry Allen's the hero after tonight's episode. Yeah, it sucks losing someone you love. It sucks losing a lot of people you love. But you know what? Superhero or not, it's gonna happen. Life is a pretty messed up thing. No one gets out alive. And when you think about it, yes, she's killed by Savitar, which is horrible, and she's young, and they're about to get married, and everything should be perfect. But she could also walk across the street and get hit by a car. Or she could also get cancer. What makes the supervillain death of Iris worse than any of that? Does anyone here know someone who died of cancer? Someone that died young? Someone that got hit by a car? I had friends that have passed. I've known people who have had to live through the death of their child. I've known people who had to live through the death of their one true love. And you know what? All of them kept going. They kept pushing on. None of them just gave up on life. But this superhero can't find it in him to keep going. That's what breaks him. The fact is that even our Barry, the one before Iris is lost, has to be talked into by Cisco to help out in the future. I want you to remember, this is a future where the rogues are pretty much running the town. This is a future where, for all intents and purposes, Savitar won. And I cannot stress enough the fact that this is a future that he sees that he has not helped stop his best friend from becoming Killer Frost. And I want to talk about that too, because that kind of annoys me. Oh, my powers turn me evil, even though Cisco's powers don't turn him evil, and we saw Reverb working with Killer Frost in the other world, so we know that it was just alternate world evils, and, Deathstorm and all that. But, yeah, the guy gets to keep his powers and be cool, but the chick, if she gets her powers, is going to turn evil. Seems like a weird thing for them to do. But I'm going to run with the fact that Killer Frost is the bad guy, and the fact that for some reason she just trusts Savitar implicitly once she sees his face. What does that tell us? Well, it tells us who it's not. She's not going to trust HR or one of the Wells at all, even Jesse Quick, just from a look at their face. She probably wouldn't trust Jay Garrick or Zoom either. Maybe a Zoom, because she did fall for him too when she thought he was Jay Garrick. But you know who she did have a connection to? Someone who Barry did actually kind of ruin his life, because Barry is the reason he became Firestorm and lost the woman of his dreams. It's a kind of out there theory, but could that be Ronnie? I don't know. I kind of like the comic book origin where Savitar is just, well, Savitar. But since that boat's well since sailed, since we have the whole mystery of who is Savitar, I do have another question about this future. Where's Gypsy? Where are all the other metas? Where's the Arrow? Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Maybe we should talk about the main thrust of the episode, which is actually a Mirror Master Top episode, ironically enough. And I just have to say that even though Flash says what they look like is tacky because he's old-fashioned, I don't know. I think that Mirror Master and Top are always pretty much on point with their outfits. whoever does their wardrobe definitely gets 2 thumbs up. It is also kind of a Wells episode because he's the only one that didn't get a sucktastic future, but Barry calls the whole team together and gets them back as Team Flash, and that's pretty important, because in this future, there hasn't been a Flash for a while. 2 interesting points to note about this, though. Remember, in the original timeline, Barry didn't get his powers until this late in the game, because Thrawn had to speed that up in order to get back home. And secondly, we're only a few months off from that Red Sky crisis that he disappears in. However, I will just point out that way back when they introduced Top and Mirror Master, they also introduced the idea of them starting their own rogues. Now, in the actual comics, Mirror Master is normally a rogue associated with Heatwave and Captain Cold. However, Captain Cold is obviously dead right now. Heatwave is actually a hero on the Legends of Tomorrow, so there actually is a big opening for a new set of rogues. Now, Top's also normally a guy, but a completely different set of powers as well. The 2 of them alone should only be a quasi-threat to him. However, they have this habit on the show of underrating exactly what Flash is capable of. In fact, over in Legends of Tomorrow, I've named this the Firestorm effect, when writers decide that they need to make the character do something they wouldn't normally do because their powers make something impossible to be a challenge to them. You know, like if Barry wasn't standing there letting them monologue and then just stand there when he tells his girlfriend take him for a spin and she activates her powers that take several seconds to kick in. All of that time could have been, oh, I don't know, fastest man alive actually doing something. But whenever they put Barry up against non-speedsters, they downplay his speed. And tonight, I guess I can't fault them too much. He was trying his best to get back into the groove when he's obviously been sucker punched a couple times, and he's not always the fastest person in the mental department. But these 2 should not have been a problem in the way they were. Of course, the fact that it's all a setup for one of the coolest scenes in the episode, I guess, means I have to forgive it. Because 2 Flashes looked awesome. And the new Flash suit from the future, oh man, looks so much more comic booky. I totally loved it. Especially the brighter color. It just totally popped on screen. And somehow Grant Gustin was able to convey just through the way he stood and the way he moved that one of them was an older and one was a younger. Just hats off to them. Totally great in that department. Still a little pissy about the fact that the hero kind of just gave up on humanity because his girlfriend died, but other than that, we then have the Killer Frost stuff, though. And that stuff is pretty much the end of the episode. Savitar's waiting, and I have to say it was kind of like a Blue Beetle outfit, the way the armor came off. Which makes me think of the Reach. Nope, sorry, I'm reaching there and going off into Crazyland. The important part is, whoever stepped out of that armor is someone Caitlin trusts. Someone Killer Frost trusts. Now, yeah, the idea of it being Firestorm, the idea of it being Jay Garrick, fake Jay Garrick Zoom, both make sense. But you know what else makes sense? What if it's Barry that steps out? An evil Barry. An Earth 3 Johnny Quick type Barry. Or, I still like the idea of Zoom just being Zoom. I like the idea of Savitar just being Savitar. What about you guys? Who do you want to see in the suit? And who do you not want to see in the suit? Let me know down there in the comments. And if you have a guess, and you guess correctly, I will give you a shout out next week. So make sure to leave your Savitar identity guesses in the comment section. And then one more question. Was I too hard on the episode tonight? Would any normal person be broken? I don't think so. If you think I was too hard or not hard enough on it, let me know down in the comments as well. And then, of course, this is the point where I need to ask you to like and share the video, along with subscribe to my channel, to help me build this community, so that we can examine what all of these are about, what this story is really all about, and whether it's a good one or a bad one. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, as we walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Have a good night.